listeners. Well, it's that fun time of year again, and what better way to celebrate this than make these wonderful spooky Halloween lollipops. You could display them as a center point at your Halloween party, or give to any visiting trick-or-treaters. So if this interests you, stay with me and I'll show you how I made them step by step, and hopefully you'll find this relaxing and informative. And for this recipe you'll need some cooking butter, unsalted butter, some sunflower oil, some icing sugar, and some cocoa, some caster sugar, self-raising flour, and some cream cheese, and 2 medium eggs. And for the eyeballs themselves, for decorating the eyeballs, you will now need some white chocolate. And I got these tubes of buttons, white chocolate buttons, and for the eyeballs themselves, some food colouring. I've got some green and yellow and ivory, and I've got some black for the pupils. You can get these in any store, of course. And finally you'll need something to put inside the pumpkin, and I picked up these cocktail sticks. Not ideal, I would have preferred to have some lollipop sticks, but I couldn't find any with the time I had. And of course you'll need a pumpkin, which we will be carving later to decorate and present the lollipops. Take 125 grams of unsalted butter and place in a mixing bowl. Measure 125 grams of caster sugar and add to the mixture. Start to mix them together slowly and it will start to soften. Then you can beat until you get a nice fluffy consistency, then add the other egg and then beat together and it will start to soften quite nicely. Sieve 125 grams of self-raising flour and 2 tablespoons of cocoa. Push all the lumps through the sieve too, and then fold together with a fork and get it nice and even. Then add half the flour mixture and then fold in gently. You can also get the sides of the bowl with a fork. Make sure it's all even and consistent. And then you beat the other remaining egg, add to the mixture, mix together, and then add the remaining flour mixture, the other half. And I've switched the oven on, so you can probably hear the oven on there now. And I've got my cake tin and some butter and some. I don't have anything to grease the tin with, so I've got this paper. As you can hear there. I'm just going to very lightly grease the cake tin. And making sure I get in all the sides as well. There, that can hear the flames on that oven there, can't you? Hopefully it's not too distracting for you. Yeah, just trying to make sure that all the cake mixture is mixed together. Okay, and I will now scoop out the mixture from the sides of the bowl. Maybe a spoon might help me. No, just go in the drawer here and get a spoon. Maybe a teaspoon. Trying to be as gentle as I can. There you go. And I will now even out the mixture in the cake tin as much as I can anyway. There we go. Try and get it as flat as I can. Push it against the sides with the spoon. And my oven is heating up quite nicely there. So that looks quite even to me. How does that look for you? Yeah? Brilliant. Okay. And I get to do the best bit, which is to lick the spoon clean. This was always my favourite part as a kid. Would you like some? Perhaps you'd like to have a taste. Okay. So now I'm going to put my cake tin in the oven. And it's going to be in there for 25 to 30 minutes. So I'll come back as soon as it's ready. While your cake tin is in the oven, mix together 50 grams of soft cream cheese, sift together 100 grams of icing sugar, and mix together slowly until it forms a nice runny paste-like consistency. Then cover and put to one side. And my sponge has come out of the oven, and as you can see, I've had a little accident. I didn't grease the cake tin very well, but that's not to worry, that's all isn't lost, because I'm actually going to be breaking up the sponge. So I will get my mixing bowl and I'm going to break up the sponge. There we go. Breaking it up into little pieces. It's still a little bit warm and ideally it should be cool, but not to worry. So I'm just breaking up all the bits of pieces of sponge. It smells really delicious as well. It's nice and fluffy, even though it's broken up a little. It's nice and fluffy. So I'm just breaking it up. Ideally, you could use a food processor or a KitchenAid, and that would help you to get it nice and even. But I didn't figure that would be very relaxing. working through those cake crumbs and breaking them down as much as possible to a nice fine grain, because this is going to form the basis of the eyeballs. There we go, just working it through with your fingers. And some of the edges are a little bit crispy there, and I can still feel the warmth as well coming through. The food processor would do this in no time as well. Okay. I'll just keep doing that a little bit longer. Splendid. Okay. Next. Next, I'm going to bring up my cheese mix, which is there. Okay, and I'm going to be adding this to the crumbs. Trying not to be too loud with that bowl. I'm a little bit short of the icing sugar. I ideally could have had just a touch more of icing sugar, but I didn't have any. And sticking together now. I bet it tastes delicious too. The idea is that this will bind very nicely. Sticking together quite nicely. Okay, let's just have a try. Yep. Okay, so I think we've done all that we can do. It's nice and moist. And, okay. What I'm going to do now is to measure 30 grams mixture. Just measure it. That will do. And just keep repeating with the balls until your tray is full. You should hopefully get about 9 or 10 of these. And it firms well. It bonds quite well together when you press it into the ball because of the cream cheese. It should only take about, say, 10 minutes to do this. And it's a good activity with the kids too. Just keep repeating till the mixture's finished. And then we can move to the next stage. When your lollipops have been in the freezer for at least 20 minutes, place a bowl on some hot water and melt the chocolate into it, stirring gently until it becomes nice and runny. Now we're almost ready. Okay, so here I am. I'm now ready to do the best bit, which is the rolling of the eyeballs. So with me, I've got some little hundreds and thousands just to create a few different style lollipops. And I've got my melted chocolate, which is nice and creamy. I've got my cocktail sticks and my eyeballs, which have come out of the freezer. I've also got a block of polystyrene to place the sticks in to let them dry. I love the sound of polystyrene. And of course, the final part is my pupils, which are there, my green and black pupils, iris and pupil. Okay, so what we're going to do is start by getting a skewer and dipping it in the chocolate, and I'm then going to skewer inside the eyeball itself and place back down on the tray. So I'm going to go through each one of them, and there we go. Hopefully that's picking that up all right. And again, just going very slowly. Yeah, that one's in too. Just working through them all, one by one. Can be quite tricky trying to be very quiet when you're doing something like that. And I found it a real challenge to keep so quiet throughout the making process. Okay, I'm on the final one now. There we go. So all my eyeballs are now on sticks. So what I can do now is to start at the very top one, and I can dip in the chocolate. Now it's maybe an idea to be very, very careful because it can be quite heavy and it can weigh it down somewhat. And what I'm going to do with each one after that is to just keep twisting it round to make sure that it's all covered, and then I'm going to place it upright in the polystyrene. It will gloop a little bit, but try not to worry too much. It's all a bit of fun, eh? There we go. There's another one completely covered. And again, just twisting round to make sure all the excess is off. And stick him in the polystyrene. It might have been better for me to have put this in a mug of some description. Possibly would have been a little bit easier when I was doing the dipping process. And again, just shaking off all that excess. There we go, very gloopy. And oops, touching the other eyeball. So it's maybe an idea to keep them a little bit separate to avoid them from sticking together. And my fourth one. These are going to be absolutely delicious. Once they're dried and ready to go. And again, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And I'm certainly demonstrating that. The chocolate starts to solidify very quickly, so it's maybe an idea to get these dipped as quick as you can. Of course, another idea I thought I'd do. How many have I got? 2, 4, 5. 5 eyeballs, and maybe do 5 in this mixture. Very messy. Very messy indeed. So put this one in there. think what I'll do now is stick